Today I'm showing you the best drop spot for Chapter 3 Season 2, and that is going to be Command Cavern. They changed the name, and there's a lot of reasons why. First of all, without the builds going on right now, high ground is important. Landing on top of a hill or mountain is going to give you just a huge advantage against everybody around you. Second of all, there are 3 Mythics this season. The Mythic Thermal Scoped AR, the Mythic Burst Assault Rifle, and the Mythic SMG, the same one from last season, but I do think it got tweaked a little bit and has a little bit less recoil. All 3 of these Mythics are literally in this area. You know, you don't need to use all 3, but if you decide to, you can. Let me show you where I land here. I usually land on the guaranteed IO pieces right here, the IO boxes. There's one up here and there's one down below. It's going to give you some quick shields and allow you to win these fights in this area. There's one right here to the right, or to the left, I mean. There we go. Already kitted. The first Mythic is going to be the Thermal. I think that's the one we're going to cover in this first game. And it is a little bit different than the previous Thermals. The boss for the Thermal spawns here. He's not hard to kill. He does this like crazy spin move, but it only does like 40 damage. So it doesn't even break your like overshield. That's him right there. He also teleports, which is kind of crazy, but... So that move right there, he does, it does 40 damage. So it doesn't even kill you. The only issue right now is there are other people nearby. I'm gonna reset real quick. I do promise that boss is not a hard kill. It's just tough timing. Now in this area, there's a scanner on the top. This guy's smart. He went and used the scanner, so I'm assuming he's decent. Scanner's gonna allow you to scan pretty much anything from the top to the very, very bottom of Command Cavern. There we go. And I'm going to go use the scanner because it resets every 60 seconds. So by the time I go back up there, it should be reset. The boss is still weak unless that person killed the boss. Let's go check out the scanner. It's right up here. It literally just reset as I came up here. It makes a noise when it's about to reset that kind of sounds like a reboot van. So if you're in a squad match, just know it's not a reboot van. See that diamond right there? That's the one guy that's still here. Couple quick tags. I think he's just dipping. Let's just go kill the boss. So let's talk about the shotguns real quick. You know, the striker was the go-to, but without builds, honestly, guys, the striker is not as strong. And a lot of games, I don't even run a shotty. I've had more success with the drum shotgun and the auto shotty because you're able to just keep shooting with those and not having to stop. So as long as like the builds are not in play, 1, you don't really need a shotgun, and then 2, the auto shotties and the drum shotties are probably your go-to. So it looks like that guy did kill the boss, but thankfully I did think ahead. So let me just go find a tent real quick. And as far as SMGs go, real quick, the Stinger is still very strong. In actual close range combat, the combat SMG is stronger than the Stinger. Kind of early, but it might be better than the Stinger. The Stinger is going to have more accuracy and less recoil, but it has way less damage. The Mythic Stinger is still in there. I think it has a little bit less recoil, but it still functions the same. These guys are running after each other. I'm just going to go clean up. Third partying is like so much better now because people just literally can't build. You just fly in. Oh, there's the Mythic. So when I'm rocking the Mythic, I actually don't run an AR. I just run an SMG and then the Mythic and like mobility and shields. It's just not like, I feel like running the scoped AR and the Mythic Hunter thermal rifle is like double dipping. Like it's not really that necessary. And this thing shoots fast, like 4.0 fire rate, a little bit slower than the Scar, but you can tap really, really fast with this thing. As you can see, like even in that close range, using vaults like that to climb up the walls is really going to be important. You really got to start playing differently with no builds. Use your environment, throw off your opponent. You saw how much damage I was able to put up real fast with this thing. It gets even crazier. I've got Shockwave for mobility, right? And that's going to be decent. The new vehicle attachments, the cow movers or whatever, the cow stoppers, you can stack those up to 4. You can actually throw those down, basically build a wall using them. You can like just throw them down and they'll have like 300 something health. And you can hide behind them and use them as cover against your opponents. So that's pretty lit. I've used that before in squad games, especially in end games when you really need it, and it works wonders. But the shockwaves are also really good just to keep mobility, especially when you get caught out in the open. You can sprint into a shockwave, just hope that they miss their shots. And a lot of people are missing their shots. Low-key, it's not very easy to hit somebody when they're sprinting like this. Oh, the thermal is also really good against tanks, especially in team modes when someone's like in the turret. I think even in this situation, like I could shoot the front of the tank and then expose the head of the person who is in the tank. That is a valid strategy. He's about to be in the open right here. Let's All right, like 90 damage, nothing crazy. Headshots would have been a little bit better. Fortunately, when the tank is looking at you like that, it is a little bit sketchier to hit them. He is looking for me. He's being held. He just got killed by somebody. Oh. I was ready, bro. I was ready. Is that the mythic? That's the mythic, bro. I'm going to cover I mean, the mythic burst is pretty straightforward, right? It is just a very strong burst with the red dot. It has like a bit of a kick to it when you shoot, but once you start getting used to it, you realize it's really not that difficult. So when you're playing solos, by the way, positioning is really important. Of course, in team modes, it is too, but it's even more punishing in solos. Like right now, I'm in a pretty bad spot, but I was leaving the storm. When I'm rotating in here, I want to try to figure out where I want to be. I'm actually going to chill right here because there's always people camping these. If you want some easy wins, if that thing is in circle, get on top of it. It's really hard to get snuck up on up there, and you just get a view of the entire like game. I already heard people shooting up there. I'm expecting someone to start gliding here in a second. But unfortunately, they're gliding the opposite direction to me. These rocks right here. This guy just zipped down. Wow. Just great shots, great pressure. He went left, right, left. I still hit every shot. This thing really does shoot where you point. Bushes are very popular this chapter, okay? They're very popular. Everyone's hiding in bushes, so you got to be careful. I do think going for the mythics is very much worth it. It's all long range encounters. You don't get a lot of shotgun fights going on. You get more shotgun fights in team modes. Be careful with that. I'm hearing shots and there's only 2 people left, so I do think it's time to move up. Last player is over there. I need to be quick to position myself in a good spot. Oh, he's at the house still. Now, when he hits your overshield, you're not taking damage. Like, as long as you let it come back up, you're not really taking damage. So now he's getting a little close. I'm actually going to push back. I prefer to have like an AR encounter. Super easy right there with that. But yeah, that was a little too easy, so let's go again. All right, guys, remember what I said. Land on a IO chest. It's gonna be really important if you want to win this drop. This time I'm gonna land on this back one right here. That way I can go straight for the scanner. Be careful when you get a striker. Striker is one of the toughest things to start with because you're not gonna be able to just one pump somebody with 100 health. Like, you'll most likely lose most encounters. We do have this vehicle thing that hopefully I can show you how it's done. Revolvers are in the game too. I'm pretty much going to loot these 3 IO chests every time. This man is all the way up here. Well played to that guy. He definitely shot back and shot well. These are more useful in open fights, so I'm just going to save them for now. I'm actually going to, so by the way, you can jump around and vault. Like if you are trying to get around something, like let's say like it's open like this, you can jump and turn around and vault. I messed up that, but it kind of worked anyways. The reason why this POI, by the way, like I was talking about the high ground, you can drop into command if you want to. There's the vault underneath. They're still pretty solid, but we don't necessarily need that right now. We're just going to kill this guy, and then we're just going to kill this guy. See how having that scanner gave me such a huge advantage in these fights? Now, the mobility from this place is great. So look, we're not in circle right now. Doesn't really matter. There's like 10 different ways you can get out of here and get pretty far and get all the way to where the mythic burst is. And from the mythic burst location, you can also move even further. So mobility is not a problem in this drop spot, even though it's kind of on the edge. There is a launch pad that can take you where you need to go. The launch pad is somewhere down here. Then you also have this, and you have another one down over here, which will get you even further. And it's next to a ice box, which will have some shields and heals for you. So that's good. Quick scan before we leave, just to see if there's anybody creeping. I mean, he's walking right up to the storm. Might as well just give him a quick tag. He lives to see another day, unfortunately. He's gone. Having that like high ground is so crucial when there's no builds. Like, you can't like build a cone, or high ground is key. Let's go. Let's get out of here. So use this cannon. Just aim up. You don't even really have to know where you're shooting, just in just general direction. Sloan's going to be down here. I fully recommend you don't land down. You land above. Now, unfortunately, I missed my cue for the redeploy. If you wait too long, you can't do it. I'm going to get up here. There's somebody in here fighting Sloan. She's dead. I'm gonna take... There's audio cues for these zip lines when they're being used. It's gonna give you key indicators to when you should... Look at this. Look at this. Just beautiful damage from this thing. I'm dropping the shotgun. You notice I'm not using it that often. And I'm always going to prioritize splashes with no builds. You're rarely going to be able to pop a big pot. In squad modes, maybe you'll have a better chance. Go ahead and get in this cannon. Another mobility option right here. We're just going to shoot out. This time we're actually going to redeploy though. Just got to redeploy before you get too low. And then it gives you a decent redeploy. I do feel like it's a little bit slow. You know, you got to be careful. You could get beamed. But I like carrying these shockwaves for mobility in case I get shot at. If not shockwaves, I like carrying the vehicle mod so I can throw down a little wall. Yeah, high ground is very important. So I a lot of times when I look at the circle, I'm going to prioritize getting to the top of the hill. I see someone in the distance being sniped at. Cars are really, really good because they're kind of like mobile cover. And if you're really good at swapping seats, spraying from the passenger side and then swapping again. And I do feel like finding a really good like combat SMG is harder than finding a Stinger. But honestly, man, like you'll be fine with whichever one you have. Stinger, combat, they're both very, very strong and will outperform most things. SMGs are still king, especially now with the removal of the MK. Like they're even more dangerous because there's not like a longer range counter for them. But I do also got to be careful not to get third party. Still like 50 people alive. Just use a little more than usual. Hitting that is going to be important too. Now he does have some splashes for me. That guy is one shot. I don't know why he's speaking. Moving to circle early is what you must do. Moving to circle early and obtaining high ground is extremely important. But I'm serious, guys. You do not need a shotgun. I remember at the beginning of chapter 3 season 1, we were talking about how like shotguns are important. About you do not need a shotgun, and that's not even like a joke. You've been watching me. There's been some close encounters off spawn. The rest of the encounters are going to be long range. The shotty is going to lose to most of like the sprinting and SMG sprays that are going to come your way. Someone said you need a shotgun. The SMG spread is bad. No, not the Stinger. The other gun too, the combat SMG, is also really good close range. Just a little bit harder to control. This is not like an ideal spot because there's not a lot of cover and there's a lot of places people can third party from here. You got to think ahead, chat. Now you really do got to think ahead. You got to think about your position and you got to think about everything. Is this guy coming to me? I don't know. That's a good idea, buddy. I should have stayed up to do with sniper. And when you get shot, your initial reaction, especially if you don't get hit hard, should be to shoot back. You can win a lot of fights by just shooting back a lot of times. For this one, I'm going to want like a quick couple tags. I don't know why my crosshair moves like that. By the way, there's a bug with the scoped. You see the crosshair kind of just jumping, scattering like that? There's 100% a bug with this thing. I promise you, it's not aimbot, but it's not the guy that I tagged. Now that guy's weak, but that's not the guy I tagged. Notice how I'm prioritizing this roof with like a lot of different corners and a lot of different movement. There's guys in the bush. There's like 2 guys in the bush. There might be a guy in that bush as well. These end games sometimes do slow down because you don't have builds. You don't want to position yourself in a bad spot and just get sprayed by 2 people and get killed. Now we know someone's in the bush if we just can find out which bush. And I have 5 shockwaves. Shockwaves is a good way to kind of get somebody out of a bush if you need them out. And you can jump, by the way, after a sprint. You can jump to get some more distance and height and kind of like jump out of boxes, jump over builds and stuff. Last guy's underneath me. I have shockwaves. I can get ahead. I can throw him in a storm. Like this is where the shockwaves are really going to come in clutch. And with no builds, like there's not much that can be done. He's gone. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more SypherPK content.